guest in the house today, Miss Jennifer.
Thank you. It sounds like from the Monsters Incorporated. Kitty, kitty. Anyways. And Mary Beth's coming soon too. Yay. So before Allie gets started, yes, I come to you, but I offer a gift. It's a beautiful Valentine's Day themed gift basket that I personally made for one of you. So this month of February, we're going to have a resident referral contest. So you bring us a friend's name, their phone number, their email. That's all we need from them. You can bring them in, invite them for dinner, let us meet them. And your name will get entered into win this drawing, this basket that I personally made, valued about $200 in there worth of items.
Wow.
So what else do you get? Well, also you get this $3,000. So for every referral you bring in here, you will get $3,000 back to you.
If they move in,
If they move
at
in.
30 days, there's stipulations to that.
Yes, and you don't get the $3,000 all at once. There's 3 increments, which is the first, when they move in, you get $1,000. After the, Tammy? After 30 days after moving in, you get it another $1,000, and then after 9 months of them moving in, you get your last $1,000. So yes, you have to keep them happy for 9 months to get your money. But you will make us happy if you do too. So come bring your referrals to me in the sales office. You can call me, you can email me, and let's get your names in that basket and try to win. Thank you. I'll leave it so you can stay on. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna try this microphone here. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
We're not messing with that one. Perfect. Yes. Sorry, I disappointed. You were looking for the boots.
I like that.
I gotta spice it up a little bit. But thank you everyone for attending our January town hall. Good to see you. Happy New Year. We all survived the holidays. What a beautiful time of the year. Now we're back to business, right? Okay. Got a big day ahead of some information for you, but you know, we can't start off the meeting without a little bit of Allie cheer. So we can get excited about the future. The past don't care, right? Let's get excited about what's coming in 25 and all the goodness we're gonna bring to Pelican Marsh and all the fun we're gonna have along the way. Okay? All right. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for Canada to come back and get their weather, huh? Now, I gotta know, does anybody know who this gentleman is up here on the screen? Lee, you're not allowed to answer. Anybody? Oh, can't see it very well. Well, it's a man.
It's not.
It is a man.
Is it Hulk? No.
It's not Hulk Hogan, but he was a wrestling star. Ric Flair. Back in the day when I was little on the farm, my grandpa loved WWE. It was WWE at that time, wrestling. And then it changed names to WWF. But anywho, Ric Flair was one of those guys, and he always did the big woo! And so, you know, you walked outside a couple weeks ago, and we did just that, didn't we? And then we broke a record. My friends in the Panhandle had over 9 inches of snow. Can you believe that? But I'm still ready. I'm ready for it to go. It was nice for a couple days, but not for 3 weeks. But anywho, all right, we're glad to kind of get back to some normalcy here with the weather. Our next town hall is scheduled for February the 25th at 3 o'clock, so mark your calendars. Okay. couple of things I want to talk about real quick. First of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to our current resident council members. We have Helen in Building 2, or Helen, raise your hand. We have Bill in Building 3, Jack in 4, Jim in 5, back in the corner. Who put baby in the corner back there? Margaret Adams in 6, and then Rita in Building 7. Thank you all for your continued hard work and dedication.
Wait, the villas.
And yes, the villas, Gina, Gina, you're in Building 7, I mean, not Building 7, you're in the villas. But Gina, did you raise your hand? Thank you. The reason why I wanted to bring this forward is there was a memo that went out last week. We're having some upcoming changes in buildings 3, 5, and 7. So a memo went out. There's going to be an upcoming resident council election. Okay? And it's going to be Saturday, February the 15th from 10 to 12. In these buildings, 3, 5, and 7 only, there will be representatives in the lobby to help collect votes for that election. A couple of things to note. So resident council is a 2-year term, a maximum of 4 years. I will tell you that Miss Rita has served 2 years. She is and can and willing to serve another 2 years for Building 7 if nominated, okay, and voted in. So just prepare for that. But unfortunately, Bill and Jim have done their max term of the 4 years, so we will have new candidates, nominees for buildings 3 and 5, okay? So, the nominees must submit a required statement of interest. So if someone nominates you, Bill will let you know, and you have to express your interest, and you can express that via Bill's email, or just coming to him and speaking to him about that process. But we will need that statement of interest by February 1st. And then 1 vote per resident for their prospective building. So if you live in Building 3, 1 vote per resident for Building 3. If you live in Building 5, you're allowed to vote 1 time. Same for Building 7. Make sense? And there's a memo that goes through more that Bill drafted that I put out for everybody with Bailey's help. So please make sure that you check your cubbies. That's where the memos go. Okay? So let's talk about what resident council does. This is just some of the things. I couldn't list them all because we've not got all day, okay? But the resident council is usually met once a month. You meet once a month. It's a way to bring positive changes for all the residents. They come in, we sit down at the table. I'm there at resident council. We go around the room and we discuss things that have been brought forward, good, bad, and ugly. Okay? And we discuss it. And then at town hall, I mention some updates and what's been brought to the table, what we can, what we can't do, those type things. But it is a collaboration. Okay? And then we also talk about other things, not just always the negative. I like to also hear the good stuff, and I encourage everybody at the table to bring that to me as well, and they're doing a great job with that. Thank you. But it's an opportunity where they can come and feel comfortable in us collaborating. If we need to bring leadership in, we do so from time to time at those meetings. Okay, and then I'm going to let Bill speak to this a little more. He wanted to also mention that, but if you want to say anything more about resident council too, and then also about the employee appreciation fund.
Good afternoon. If you haven't gotten the election memo out of the cubby, please do look for it. And you'll see a deadline for turning in your name or the name of someone else you recommend to be on the council. And I have not received any emails yet for people there, and there's a few more days to go before that time period's over. And does anyone have any questions about the election?
And what's the date? Just to see if y'all were listening to me. Well, when's the election? February 15th. But good, February 1st is when we need to get the nominees in the bill.
Yeah. And today being 28th, that means there's 3 more days.
No pressure.
Don't let everybody be reluctant. One comment about the Employee Appreciation Fund, just want to make sure that everyone's seeing flyers coming out. We now have 5 people in that group to try to do a good job of getting contributions and participation. If you ever have any questions about that this year, I'll remain with that fund. Just give me a call or ask me. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Bill. All right, we're gonna move on here. Want to just do a quick reminder, this is continuing to come up and residents express concern. We try to police it, but again, we're all adults and we need your help too, because it's hard to police with everything else we have going on. So masks are required. We have a sign that we've posted. This is expected and encouraged, and you know, we do have several of you that do follow that rule and assist us with following that, and then we have a few that are a little more resistant. So I'll be having those individual conversations as able and as I learn of those resistant ones, but please help us with this. It's respectful for everyone if we follow it. It's not fair for some to do and not all to do, right? So let's try to be mindful and help each other follow and comply with this request. Dining room reservations, I wanted to just give an update. This has kind of been something that's come up, and I want to clarify a few things. Also, we are in the process of going through our current resident handbook and making some revisions and also adding a little more detail such as this, because it was brought to my attention and you were exactly right. We don't have the details in there like we should. So we're revamping, and as soon as we get it all done, which we need a little more time on that because there's a lot of things that I want to tweak, but I'm announcing it now, and we'll continue to put announcements in the weeklies and a letter for important things too. But once we get the handbook completely done and I'm comfortable with it and the tweaks are done, we'll get a new one out to everybody too. But meanwhile, updates will continue, so please make sure you're checking your cubbies. Okay. Reservations are required for the following. If you have 5 or more in your party, please understand you can only make reservations 2 days in advance. And we do have to rotate this. It can't be the same alley getting the table every time. We have to rotate it. So 2 days in advance, it is first come, first serve, but we also try to be fair with that rotation. If you have 12 or more in your party, we're asking you to reserve the multi-purpose room. We need at least a 2-week advance notice. The holidays, we're asking to start that process 2 weeks in advance because we do have a lot of people, so we're trying to make sure that we can accommodate as many as we can and work out a plan accordingly. So the more notice we have, the better. Right, Katie? A little less gray hairs, right? Coming through with a little help.
The holidays are still only for groups with more than 4? Or do you reserve for holiday even for a table of 4?
No,
Just for
No.
larger groups?
just for the larger groups, yes. He was asking on the holidays, what size do we start that? So what is the table limit for that for the holidays? Still 5 or more, same thing, okay. So still 5 or more, that's when we would need that information. But we need it more in advance than just the normal 2-day process. For holidays, it's a little different. Okay? Liquor license and corkage fees. So, I want to talk about this a little bit. There is going to be a little bit of a change. I know the buzz has already started. I'm going to put my little specs on so I can read it better. Okay. So, we have a liquor license, okay? Our liquor license is 7 days a week. Regardless if the tavern is open or not, we have a liquor license. We have to protect that. We've had visits from the ATF in the past, and you know, lucky for you, it's not been a true enforcement, but original language in the handbook does speak to corkage fees may apply, but it was just never enforced. But we have to start enforcing to protect our liquor license. So I want to explain what that looks like. If you want to bring your own bottle of alcohol or wine, you can do so outside, right? Let's say you like a certain brand that we don't offer and you want to bring it in. That's fine. But we do need to charge a one-time corkage fee per bottle of $15. Okay? If you bring in a cup and you have your own alcohol in a cup and you go back to your room and you refill, right? That's, hey, do you? You do you. But there's a one-time fee of $8 for that because, again, you're bringing outside alcohol in. Restaurants allow you to bring outside bottles in, but they charge you a corkage fee to protect that license, and we have to do the same thing. Okay? Now, the only difference is outdoor restaurants, outside restaurants don't allow you to bring your own cup in, and we're making a consideration for that because they don't allow that. But for the bottle, the same thing. And it is per bottle. We're not able to split the cost amongst tables and amongst residents. It's gonna, whoever brings that bottle, that's where the corkage fee will be applied to, and then y'all can figure that out amongst yourselves if you want to split the cost, okay? And this fee applies to dining room and the tavern. It's not just tavern specific. Our liquor license is for the whole dining room. We serve mimosas, we serve Bloody Marys on Sundays, but the tavern's not open, we still serve that. Our liquor license is 7 days a week. Okay? And again, this is outside alcohol that you're bringing in. If you purchase from the tavern, or you purchase wine in the dining room, you know, that comes from the tavern either way, that's fine. There's no additional charge for that. That's just the normal charge. Okay? So that will start February 1st. Okay? And, we'll get that updated a little more detailed in the handbook. Right now it just says corkage fees may apply, but I'm going to spell it out better for everybody's clarity in the handbook. But this is what we need to do per the ATF. Okay?
Just a quick question. Did you set the amounts or are those specified?
No, we set those amounts in-house based on what our Discovery family charges.
If I bring a bottle of gin, is that a $15 corkage fee?
Yes.
And if I leave it there, do I have to pay another $15 fee the next night?
You can't leave it.
No, you can't leave it with us. You have to take it. Yeah, it's not something you can leave with us. It's not, I mean, that's how we got this mess to begin with. We had a bottle from a resident left and they found it, and it wasn't something that we had purchased on our inventory, right? Because they check our receipts, they check what we're doing, and that's how this whole thing started. We had a bottle left that wasn't something that we had purchased.
Thank you.
Allie, one of my favorite drinks is what is it, the spritz, Aperol spritz. And, in the past, and I only did it like 3 years ago, nothing current. But I was told I could bring in my own bottle of Aperol because you don't offer it here to mix with whatever it mixes with. And what was it? Champagne. And so, you don't offer it, so I can no longer leave it. I have to bring it every time I go on an Aperol spritz.
What is Alpro? Is that a liquor or is that just a mix?
It's an orange liqueur.
Oh, it is a liqueur.
And it tastes like liquid sunshine. It is delicious.
Sounds good, but yeah, sorry, I'm not familiar.
I see nods in the crowd.
Yeah,
It's really good.
Let's have a quick
yeah.
conversation.
So let's have a conversation conversation with Lee about that. I don't know if that's something that we can look at ordering, if we get enough people interested in that or not, but yeah, because it is a liqueur, it still affects the license, so yes, it would be,
But I didn't know if it can't be stored here, so I have to bring it every time.
right,
So I pay
yes.
50.
And you'd be charged every time.
Every time we would be charged.
Well, I think if you're, I mean, I don't know how many you're planning to drink, you're sharing the bottle, but maybe you bring the cup, you know? I don't know, we'll have to talk to Lee and see what options we have that we can do to kind of, for those one-offs.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Helen?
Two questions. Since the $15 corkage fee is an arbitrary number, is it possible, because it is such a change for everyone, to do $10 corkage fee instead of $15? That might just go over a little nicer. And
So the $15 is the fee, okay? If you go to a restaurant, you're paying 30.
okay, the second question was, since obviously the bar culinary is going to be making some more money on that, would it be possible to then lower some of the prices of the drink?
We don't make money from that
Where does the money go?
to corporate.
Okay.
It goes directly to corporate?
Or you, okay, well, let's turn around, turn around, and then we can turn this around, okay?
Okay, Ally, let me finish. Okay, Lee just said that the money from liquor goes directly to corporate, it doesn't stay in-house?
Well, that's pretty much all of our money, right? We don't keep it here at the building level.
I thought it went to culinary to
No.
be used, in culinary.
No, it's a part of the budget like anything else we have here, yeah. Jack?
And at $8 a day, if I bring a big cup and I have 2 drinks out of it, it's one $8 charge.
Correct.
And
If you bring a big cup of your liqueur, it's an $8 charge, and you can make your spritzers with that and refill it as, the one of the day. You know, to solve all of the problems, we just need to use our tavern because the prices are still reasonable. And maybe we look at our bar menu options to see if we can spice things up with our drinks specials, there's ways we can make this work. It's just gonna take a little bit of time. But while we're figuring that out, we still can't afford to lose our liquor license. Cause that costs a lot of money for the corporation to make that happen, and we can't lose it. So you guys have to work with us too. We're trying to work with you and figure out a way to make it work for everybody. And maybe we can sit down and look at the menu from time to time and see what things we can do to help that. But meanwhile, we gotta protect our license. This is a business.
Does our license change when the pub is closed? The fine print in the license changes if you read the Florida law. Yeah. Read the Florida law.
We did, and we have a representative at our home office as well. And per legal and such, it's 7 days a week. And we are offering it on Sundays with our Bloody Marys and mimosas. So it is 7 days a week. Okay? All right. Yes.
Will you address, where we can have alcohol on the premises without
Okay.
paying a corking fee? In other words, if we go to the pool, if we go to the, little gazebo.
Lee, would you like to take over and explain this a little better?
So our liquor license encompasses the entire clubhouse. The clubhouse is considered the entity to which it is contained. So from every opening door to the patios, the courtyard, the poolside area, everything that is encompassing the clubhouse itself. So if you have the alcohol in your own building, in your own hallways, your lobby, that's where those fees don't apply. But the moment it comes into a public area, that's where the fees apply.
But we are a private institution.
But
And
the
law
liquor,
says you can have, if you're private, you can have it anywhere.
the liquor license that we have encompasses the square footage of the clubhouse with its amenities, which is the pool deck, the courtyard out here, and those existing areas around it. So once you look at the blueprint of it, that's where our liquor license is contained within. So it does not outreach from there to, the apartment buildings or to the villas or things like that, but it is encompassing for the public area space of the clubhouse.
One other thing, in all the years I've been here, the bar has never carried Prosecco. And so obviously, I don't drink at the bar because their choices for me are not acceptable, the stuff that they have. So how can we, you're kind of forcing us, if you don't have a full-service bar, then you're forcing us to pay $15 for what you consider good wine or good alcohol.
So we do have a full-service bar, but our portfolio might not be to your specification, but we do have a full-service bar.
But I live here,
Right.
this is my home, and I can't secure what I would like to drink without paying you $15.
Right, well, it's just like if I go to a restaurant that doesn't serve the beer that I like, I have to choose a
But I
different
could
beer.
I could have that at
Sure,
home.
sure, right, I can have my,
I could go to the pool at the clubhouse and
we do,
have it.
oh,
and
so
not
there's a
have
good
to-
update for you, we do have Prosecco, we do sell it.
Oh, well, you never had it before.
Come on down to the bar, check out the new, the menu for us. Anybody else? Got another one?
What about Mondays?
Yeah,
What about Mondays?
yeah,
Bars
try
closed
Monday.
on Mondays.
So our liquor license encompasses 7 days, whether we operate one day or we operate 7 days. So
If
if
you wanna
we,
drink on Monday, you gotta pay for it.
you gotta pay for it, yeah.
Why not
Oh,
just
how
open the
terrible
tavern on
that is.
Mondays?
I'll let
And-
you speak to that.
And we're,
That is terrible.
and we are reviewing that. Again, that does require a bartender that, and you know, we have a couple, we have one in training and we have our one bartender, but we're gonna have to then encompass more staffing and that encompasses more. So we're evaluating that to see how we can accommodate that and what options we can do. But yes, that is something we're reviewing. To have the tavern open 7 days a week, so it's open 7 days, not just the 5. So that's something that, we've discussed at resident council and I'm looking into it. With Lee and Katie and seeing what we can do. But we also have a culinary committee that, you know, we work with, so if you have some suggestions for different drinks and different things, we will take that into consideration to see how we can modify the menu from time to time and make some tweaks and changes along the way. Cause I get tired of eating the same, or drinking the same thing day after day, or, well, I mean, I don't drink day after day, but, you know, I don't always want a beer, I don't always want my Cooper's Hawk wine, but it's pretty good, I'm just saying. But, you know, so, we can look at changing some things and tweaking some things, but we need that feedback, let us know what you like, what we could do different, so that maybe we can incorporate that a little bit, a little at a time, to help, okay? But that's where that feedback comes in, and the culinary committee, we can bring that into that as well, and or the resident council suggestions and see how we can accommodate, okay? Uh-huh.
Is this something new that the liquor license company, the state made, that you could charge that? Because I've been here 11 years and this is the first change that it's been made on the liquor.
So it's
We've been
not
able to
new,
do it
it's,
for
it's
11
not,
years.
it's not new to the law, it's not new, it's just being enforced.
Now,
Okay, it's not new to Discovery, it's not new to the license. We did have an issue that happened that raised the flag with ATF, which is how this all came about. That was before my time, but as I've taken over, I have to follow that direction and protect what we're doing.
You're squeezing us a little bit more.
Yep.
So that particular law for $15 is headquarters, because you could bypass a fee there's no reason you couldn't charge $1. So what you're saying is headquarters is mandating $15, which we all believe is very high.
Okay, and so the fees are reasonable in comparison, because we do have a restaurant license. We have a restaurant, right? We serve, we have a big menu of a lot of options. So the fee is actually less. You can go out there to Fleming's, you can go out there to these
Well, this
nicer
is
restaurants,
Fleming's.
right? But I'm
It's
just giving
not
an example.
Fleming's.
It's not just Fleming's. You can go to other restaurants down the road,
Some charge
and
nothing.
the corkage fees apply. So it depends on the license, but this is something that is across the board with our discovery communities, with the liquor license. It's just never been enforced, because we, have been under the radar with ATF, and then now we're not. So we have, hey, be grateful you've been here 11 years and you haven't had the issue. But unfortunately, it happened, and now this is where we are today. And we're put in a position, we have to follow the rules too, because we don't want our liquor license taken away. So there has to be a balance, and the $15 is what other discoveries are charging. That is what we, as a company, have. It's just never been enforced here.
Well, wasn't the law when this place gave the residents permission? Permission was granted to bring liquor in on Monday. And it doesn't apply to me, but they serve themselves, they get involved themselves.
Right, and that's the whole
Why
thing.
they're penalized for something that you people said that they can do.
No, it's not that we're penalizing. ATF came in, and it became an issue, which is why we're having to now navigate down this path.
ATF came in before, even
And there wasn't the issue, so, I can't speak to the past management, I wasn't here, but I'm sure they let it ride, right? It hadn't been an issue, why poke the bear? ATF didn't mention it, we're trying to just go on as normal. But now, because it was a flag, now we have to do something about it.
But
So
the
this
flag
isn't,
was that you stored alcohol for, that wasn't purchased by you. It has nothing to do with the corking.
but we're allowing it to be brought in, which is the whole realm of the corkage fee, right?
But it's,
So
but
you
your
have the
problem was
choice to
storing
not
it.
bring it in.
Your problem was storing it, not that someone brought it.
The problem was we were allowing it to come in, it was being stored, and we didn't purchase it because we have a liquor license. There's more than one problem.
We shouldn't have to pay, right?
No, it's not just that, it's the liquor license is applying. It's not about just the storing. We are allowing it in, and if we're gonna allow it in, we have to offer that corkage fee. If you're gonna bring outside in because of the liquor license. So I don't wanna consume this meeting with this, we need to move on. Those of you that are upset and concerned, you're welcome to come speak to me. But this is something that we have to do. This is not something that, Allie's just coming in and squeezing and nickel and diming. No, this happened because of a situation that previous management was trying to let it ride and do what you guys wanted because that's what you wanted, but then it bit us in the end and now we're having to go back. Okay? So we're gonna move on. You guys can come to me one-on-one, but this is going into effect right now, effective February 1st. We'll continue to adapt the menus as needed, okay? Thank you. All right, so, in other news, we have a luau party, February the 6th. We had to reschedule it because of the Canada weather. But please mark your calendars for the new luau, February 6th. At the poolside, we have a new entertainer, a special steel drummer, and by the way, I heard him, he's fabulous. Y'all are gonna have a real good time, and let's everybody get ready for that coming up, okay? I hope to have a big turnout. And then, do we have any Chief fans in the house? Yay! What about Eagles? Oh boy, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. It's going down February the 9th at 5 p.m. Cheer your team on. We're gonna, the party, you're gonna have it in the tavern. I saw on the calendar, so come get ready for that, and we'll see who wins the big Super Bowl in New Orleans. I'm rooting for the Chiefs, but we'll see. Eagles was pretty tough.
Allie, will the bar be open for Super Bowl Sunday?
Lee, we'll have a specialty cocktail.
So we're gonna do the same thing we've done for the previous years. We'll be open from 5 o'clock through kickoff, and then we'll start to wind everything down around halftime. So that's gonna be the time frame. So we'll be open for about 2.5 hours.
All right, we do have Spirit Week coming up for February. I hope you guys will join us in some fun festivities and wear the colors to sport the Spirit Week with us. Okay, and then some other highlights to save the date, some special things coming up. I would like to point out we do have a fondue bar coming to you February the 13th. We have a Valentine's party on the 14th, and we have cocktails with Katie on the 15th. Cocktails and mocktails. She's going to show us how she does it and drum up some good little drinks that with and without alcohol for your tasting pleasure. All right. We got a ladies' tea party and chocolate exchange. Yappy hour, my favorite. We have a chef demo. Some other things coming up too. I want to make sure everybody's aware that Bailey and Jasmine are rotating the weekends to be here to really help boost some things on Saturday and Sundays. And I want to make sure that y'all are helping because they're committing to that and helping spread that 7 days a week, but we need to make sure we have participation to keep that going. Nita?
We are all aware, I think every one of us, of how much the girls have done, how much you've done to make more activities for us. We call Sundays slow. They're not slow anymore.
Woo-hoo.
Saturdays are slow.
Yay, thank you. And just wait, we got a even more
Oh, gosh.
vigorous February calendar.
Whoa.
We had a meeting of the minds. I got Jim in the office, Bailey in the office, and we sat down at the table with the transportation schedule, and we got more surprises coming. All right?
Which gym was that?
Jim Ford.
Well, that's what I thought. It's gonna be a big deal then.
All right, I know that there's been some technical difficulties with the channel 9005, and there's still some challenges. We've kind of got it a temporary solution at the moment, but we've got to order some more equipment and have a tech come back out. So if it's not working 100%, but bear with us. We're having to work with the tech people of the world and get more equipment ordered, okay? And this did come up at resident council, and I wanted you to know I've put it on my list. We're looking into it here on the resident directory, finding a way to add emails. We're gonna check to see if Uniguest, if there's a way we can add emails in that platform, but then also the one that Hannah does for us, we can try to format that spreadsheet a little bit differently to include emails, because I know that's been a request, so we're looking into that, okay? Uh-huh, Bob?
Let me make a suggestion. I get 30 emails a day from outside sources. There ought to be a way for me to indicate that I don't want to hear necessarily from individuals here adding to that burden. It should be an optional.
Well, we're not sending you emails internally from us. This is more resident to resident, if they wanted to reach you.
Yeah, well, any resident here who has my email address has it because I gave it to him.
And, okay, and if you don't want it on that list, you don't have to provide it to us. Yeah, that's fine. So for transportation, we've added some more trips. We've added extra shopping trips. We've got some more fun things planned for the weekends in February. We're going to go to the farmer's market, the Flamingo Island Flea Market, which, by the way, my karaoke fans in the house, I went there this past weekend, and you know what? They do karaoke on Saturdays and Sundays. And they bring the house down. So just saying, in case y'all wanna karaoke. We're gonna go to the Pottery Place, the Swamp Sanctuary, a coffee shop. We're doing the Botanical Garden, going to the world famous cigar bar in Estero. We're gonna do a casino trip. We're gonna start a dinner club.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And we're doing some extra shopping trips throughout the month too. More trips than just to Walmart and Publix. We're gonna go to the bank, we're gonna go to Aldi's, we're gonna go to different places, and if you have places you'd like to go, let us know and we can pencil them in throughout, okay? We can start going monthly to different places that of interest of you, but let us know, we need that feedback, okay? So stay tuned for that February calendar and schedule. All right, let's talk about some housekeeping and maintenance. So I just want to revisit some things that have come up since I've been here and kind of go back through and remind what's been done and what's been completed, okay? We did have the lobby and tavern furniture professionally cleaned and the dining room floors professionally cleaned over the holidays. We had the canopies pressure washed. We did do some chemical treatment on some of the fences in the major areas. We know there's still more, but that takes time because there's a lot of fence and a lot of canopies around here, but we know there's still more to go, but we have started that process. We have done an exterior signage cleaning with all that from the entrances on both sides with cleaning the exterior signs. I know we still need to order a stop sign. That one stop sign, it's not even red or, it's lost all its color pretty much, but we're working on that. We have the dumpster gate has been completed. That project's been completed. All the doors have been fixed, and then we cleaned the one that looked completely green, so it's all clean now. We're encouraging our team members and reminding them to please close the gates when you're done, and it has been a little better. But that's a constant reminder too, but and we do have waste management that comes in and they're never gonna shut the gate, so we have to train our people that are on the golf carts as they go around to stop and help shut that. We fixed the potholes, and we did fix a few parking spaces, and then of course, even with the signage and even with the caution and the cones, we still had someone walk through in building 5, and we think it's a size 6. I'm gonna start going around and seeing who wears a size 6 in building 5, because they walked through the tar and left tar footprints. So now we have a whole nother issue of figuring out how to get that off the sidewalk. But it's on the list, but it's not gonna happen overnight, because that's not an easy fix. Was it you, Nita?
No, I'm not.
I thought you were confessing.
But I tell you the truth, I tell people coming thinking about moving here, I've said this to some of you, this is like a big family. Lord, isn't it? It really is. Look at all this mess and walking. We really are. We're a mess sometimes. Terrible.
They removed the footprints.
Oh, they got it. Okay, good. It was on the list. So see, they got to it. Good. I hadn't been over there lately, but thank you. So I guess we can't inspect whose footprint that was, but next time. All right. We had the directional signage installed in all the buildings. I know there was a couple of things, the mishaps that were working, but there's not going to be any other signage installed. I know this came up at resident council. Oh, well, you don't say what building number you're in when you walk in the doorways. Well, no, we're not. It's on the canopy, but your address and building 7 is on the canopy, but we're not going to also do that in every lobby of every building and all entrances. The signage is, the package is the way it is, and we're not adding anything more. Except we are adding tram instructions, signage, but it's real signage that we're getting made from a local trophy shop. Jim has a contact, he's went down there, we're working on that and getting that on order. So we'll have professional signs that explain how to work the tram button in each of the buildings and in the clubhouse. Okay, so that is coming. Irrigation repairs have been completed. Obviously, we know with this cold weather, we're probably gonna have a few issues to address. let's talk about the sod. We treated the grounds with chemicals. We burned the grass in front of building 2 to kind of prep it and get ready, and we laid new sod, and now we all need to pray. We need to pray that it works, right? So building 2 and 5, you got some sod treatment. We're not done, but we have to kind of manage our budgets and, plan accordingly, but we've started that progress. We removed the dead palm tree, and we missed the action on that for most of us, but it was removed in front of the clubhouse safely. We got the dryer vents cleaned in building 6, and we're working on scheduling for building 7 in February. Okay. We added a light pole outside the clubhouse exit by the cubbies, so when you exit out that way, you have a little extra light for safety. The gazebo lights are in working order again, and we did get our new trim. So this has all been in the last few months. We've been working hard, and this isn't counting all the additional work orders our maintenance guys get in addition to, and the preventative maintenance stuff that we also have to do for compliance on top of the other projects. So they've done really well and done a good job with helping keep on track.
Ally, do we have in the budget for improvement or upgrading landscaping in buildings where the landscaping bushes have died and?
No, we get so much money for grounds, and then we have to allocate it accordingly. But they don't give us $10,000 extra for bushes for each building or anything like that. No, they give us a month. We have a contract, and then we have to work through that with them. So it's not just like with the tree trimming. We don't get extra money for that either. So we have to figure out ways to make that work within our realm to do the tree trimming, which, we did 3 times since I've been here, having to come back and fix. So we're not gonna be doing that again until probably a few more months because it's expensive. So, I wanna talk about the trash rooms because this keeps coming up, but I don't have a housekeeper that's gonna be able to go and clean up a trash room after someone has an accident or makes a mess every single time. This is also your responsibility to help us as well. If you have something that happened, we know accidents happen. We need you to report it and let us know. We don't want the floors sticky and smelly because of an accident. But at the same token, we need your help with making sure you're tying the bags appropriately and keeping the trash contained and putting it in the right containers. Okay? We can't manage every single trash room every single day of the week. That's not what we're here to just do. We have a lot of things to do. So if you have an issue, you notice an issue, please bring it forward. And call the front desk so we can be made aware to go address it. Work orders. So I saw this memo, and I'm going to talk to a few of the buildings, but I want to make sure everybody understands because I had a few residents come to me. Anybody can request a work order. If you notice something, you're walking down the canopy, you see something in your building, or you're concerned, you can request a work order. You do not need to go through Bill or Jim for work orders outside of your apartment. Everybody is allowed to request a work order. Doesn't need to wait for resident council. Because all I'm going to say at resident council is, well, that's a work order. Was a work order placed? Then it's been delayed how long? Because how long did you wait to put, I don't know when you put that in, but now you've waited to resident council. We're already behind the 8 ball even more. Don't wait. You have every right to put a work order in just like anybody else. If you see something, we encourage you to do so. Now, we do work orders based off critical in nature, right? So there is a list of priority, but it'll be in the system so we're aware to review it. Pets. We've had some issues, and I want to talk about this real quick. Residents are responsible for cleaning up after their pets. We've had some pets that have had accidents in elevators. They've had accidents maybe on the sidewalks, and they've not cleaned up after their pet. And that's not being respectful and fair to your fellow residents and neighbors, right? We love to be pet friendly, but we ask you have to manage your pet. And accidents happen, we understand that, but again, you need to let us know if you're not able to manage it so we can come and assist. Because we don't want residents to fall in urine, we don't want there to be more accidents because of that accident, right? So please help us with that and manage your pet, picking up after your pet when you're walking the perimeters and inside as well. Okay? I want to give an FP&L update. So Jim has continued to keep this on his radar and in communication with FP&L. The latest and greatest, get this, we have to pay them to come paint their equipment. How about that? So, we've requested the appropriate paperwork that we need so we can get them set up to be a vendor in our system, because that's the first step. Then they have to send us an invoice and we have to go through that process to set them up. And then they're gonna get on the schedule, let us know when they can get us on the schedule. They've already warned us. They're not gonna get to all of them, but they'll start the process. So we've gotten a little bit further along than the last time we spoke to them. Okay, and we'll stay on top of it. Other updates, Jim has been working and getting quotes. We're gonna get building 2, the automatic door opener. I know it's been working sometimes, not all the time. So we're getting that repaired, and getting that in the works to get scheduled to be repaired, and the equipment ordered for building 2. I wanna talk about the speed limit signs, because again, this is on our list, but it's a little more complicated. And we're having to still research sign companies because the way the current signs are, it's like a corkboard foam, and it's just not easily, you can't just easily remove it. So we're having to figure out what we can do with our current signage, because we really don't wanna have to replace every single speed limit sign. That's gonna get very expensive and costly, so we're trying to figure out a way to manipulate the ones we have now. But we are looking at a speed limit goal of 11 miles per hour. We're still researching, but I wanted to let you know it's not fell off the wagon. It's on the list. We're still having to figure out a way to make it happen. And I already talked about the directional signs for the tram call.
In regards to the, miles per hour allowed, how are we communicating with the caregiver to get that message across to them that they drive?
Well, right now, the signage hasn't been fixed, but the caregivers are hired by you. So as you, individual, you're responsible, you're the ones hiring your caregivers, you need to be communicating that with them. Okay, and we can, I can draft a letter up if that would be helpful, that you can help give to the caregivers to show that this is the expectation, but technically we can't hold them to 11 miles per hour because we don't have the signage installed yet, but that has to be communicated. You guys have to own some of that responsibility, because you're hiring these people. We're not always in the know till after the fact, and we can't police it like that. You have to help us. You're hiring them. You have to help communicate those things.
I might be mistaken, but aren't there some signs at 20 miles per hour?
Yes. Yeah.
Where are they?
Oh, I don't know where the 20 miles per hour are. There's a few. There's 20. 5 or 6 of them that are 20, yeah. But we're looking at, we gotta make it consistent across the board, but the problem is the way the signage was originally built.
Because 20 miles per hour is probably too much.
Right. That's why we're trying to get it changed and figure out how to update it. Okay? All right, there's a few more things I want to talk about. We're almost done. Back to the bar. Here we go. So, I need your help. Please drink responsibly and know your limits. I have personally witnessed it and observed it myself, and I'm not saying I'm been guilty myself a few times. I've had a little minute, and it hits me like I stand up and I'm like, ooh, this is fun. And the good news is you don't have to drive anywhere, But we still have to be responsible, because, you know, our tram drivers get worried about you too, and I know they've had to escort a few of you to your actual apartment so that you get there safely. But then we worry what happens on the inside of the apartment, because are you gonna get to bed safely? We don't want you to fall because it got a little too fun at the bar, right? So we do need to be mindful and try to drink more responsibly, because we have had some concerns with that, and I wanna make sure you guys are taking care of yourself. Okay, the golden rule is you have a glass, you drink a glass of water, right? That's what they say. I don't know if it really works, but. Also, I need to keep reminding and encouraging you to wear your emergency pendant. If you don't want to wear it as a necklace, you can wear it as a wristlet. But we had an incident that happened a few weeks ago. 2 residents fell. Neither one of them had their pendant on. Thankfully, someone was walking by that doesn't work here or live here. They were visiting, and they were able to, get help and get security there. But it's a concern, because if that person hadn't walked by, these residents could have been unconscious. Lots of things can happen. We just want to make sure you're being safe and thinking about that too, so that we can be alerted to come and help you call 911 if you can't get to your phone, right? But it's important. We encourage you to wear it. We try to remind, but we know some of you are very guilty of that, and I won't mention names, okay? Smoking, I want to talk about this. We've had some violators, and this is something Allie's also enforcing, okay? Because it's never been enforced, and it's going to be. Because the amount of damage smoke does to our apartments, and the amount of repairs that we have to do to the drywall, to the ductwork, to everything in between, and all that extra expense we go through, not to mention it doesn't always work, and we have to do it all over again because the smell comes back. You're allowed to smoke, you have that right, but we're allowed to also ask you to smoke outside your apartment. Smoking in your lanai, smoking in your apartment, visitors being allowed to smoke in your apartment is not allowed, and I will be enforcing the fee. And the fee has went up to $5,000, because I've already had some communication with some residents that have been violators of this, and they didn't even blink at the $2,000 original dollars. So we've bumped it up. Maybe if it's $5,000, you'll reconsider your choices. Okay, so that has been updated, legal is aware, and we will be enforcing it. If you're gonna smoke, please smoke outside of your apartment, not on the lanai. So it speaks to that in your contract and in the resident handbook, but it is attached to your apartment. It is a part of your apartment. That smoke comes in the apartment. You can't stop it. It's attached, it's a safety, it's a fire safety hazard. You catch that lanai on fire, you're catching this building on fire. It's a fire safety hazard, and it's not permitted.
Well, that's a change in the 6 years I've been here.
Yeah, it's in 9 years that I've been here, we always smoked on the night.
Again, the rules, it's in the contract, it's in the handbook, it's attached to this building. It is a fire safety hazard. You have to smoke outside from the lanai and the apartment.
Makes sense. On the ground?
On the grounds. We have benches out on the grounds and around the sidewalks, but you have to be away from the building, because you're putting everybody at risk with a fire by smoking in your apartment or in the lanai, because it's attached. And then another friendly reminder, because we have been putting updates in the cubbies, and I go by those cubbies and I see all of the updates packed. Nobody's come to get them. So please check them. There are important updates that we put out that we want to make sure that you're getting, because I can't go door to door delivering every time we have an update. Okay?
Excuse me, on some of these updates and announcements and all that, why don't we put them on that, U channel? Because I use that, that's why I never go to my cubby.
We do, but some of it is a little lengthy and long, and we explain a little more detail with memos and announcements, because it's hard to read all of those updates in the channel, but we do put, little pieces, but then we also do put it in our weeklies, but again, that's the purpose of having the cubby too. So you're in the clubhouse, you're walking by, just check it from time to time.
Can we get that updated more frequently? The website, our own website on
The Uniguest?
Yeah.
So I'll need to talk with you, Helen, because I went back that day to check, and Jen pulled it up on hers and they were there. Something is going on with maybe your app not being updated or something. We need to check that one-on-one.
Okay.
Because I went and Jen showed me, and it had the list there of November and December. So something is not,
Yeah.
it could be an app update issue. Okay,
Question, any update on the roof?
no, sir. I would have put it in here if I had it, but I don't have it, so I decided not to go there, but thanks for bringing it up, but there's no update. I was trying to get away from that.
In December, at the last, in December, November, meeting, it was said by Jim that you were getting quotes, so that's.
Well, they've gotten quotes and they had major heartburn, so now they're reassessing new options of brainstorming what they're gonna do, because it was very, major heartburn palpitations with those quotes.
The more you wait, the bigger that
Right.
heart will be.
So, and they know it has to be done, they're just trying to figure out how and the best way to go about it, and are all of the options, but yes, they know, and it will be done, I have faith, it will be done, it's just a matter of fixing, and getting through this last little bit here, but it's on our list. I have my weekly calls with my people that are constantly in conversation with them on that stuff. Okay, as soon as I know, I promise you will know. Okay? Uh-huh.
Real quickie, since you said that we don't have a budget for landscaping, and some of us, we decorate our buildings and we try to improve how the looks of things are. Is it all right if we buy our own, within our building, if some of us get together and we buy some shrubbery ourselves and plant, can we get some of it planted for us?
Well-
Or we're not allowed?
Let's table that offline and we'll get Jim involved and see, because the problem too with some of that is we want it to look uniformed, and if some folks are doing this over here and some are doing this over here, and then it's not looking, that could create a whole new kind of problem. So we wanna make sure we're ordering the same stuff or the right stuff, so we just need to look at it, give us an opportunity. They've not finished our budgets yet, we're still waiting for the final, so we can try to then see what magic Jim has in his back pocket to kind of maybe make some things work, okay? He's got some magic back there. He pulled it out at the end of the year, so I know we just need a little more time, okay? All right, yes.
Yeah, I did. Will the new, booklet that you're putting out say the same thing about calling the concierge at the desk? In the book I got, it says, call the desk. And when I call the desk, they say, I'll tell the concierge. I've never heard from a concierge.
We'll call the concierge.
It's in the book. I can't.
But I'll have to see what phone number you're calling, but the front desk is what you call, and that is the concierge, and so they have access to the work order system to place work orders, and they have access to transfer calls or take messages.
Are you calling after hours?
No, during the day. Well, what about
Do
after
you have the
hours?
security cell phone number? Maybe that's.
Wait till the next day.
So we have a security line that's available after hours that you can call for emergencies, situations. If it's not an emergent situation, then the next day when the front desk is here, you can call and, place your request. But we do have an after-hours security phone number that you can call for emergencies or critical issues.
So whoever sits at that desk is the concierge, you said?
Yes.
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 She must be calling the security.
Yeah, so we'll need to check what phone number you're calling and make sure you've got the correct numbers.
It's in the current payment.
Then that's the current number of the front desk and the security. All right, real quick, I wanna just give another shout out here. We've got some new team members. For those of you that may or may not know, Trudy, our assisted living administrator, did relocate back to the East Coast and took an opportunity with the Discovery community over there. That's where she resided for 19 years, and you know, her family and friends, so she had an opportunity to do so and she took it. So we've hired a new assisted living administrator. She goes by Mick. And then we also have hired some new team members in assisted living, and we hired our third and final sales director. Sylvia started the 20th. We're excited to finally have the sales team full again. We appreciate, you know, Darlene, even though I didn't get to work with her long in her retirement, but we were able to finally fill her position, and Sylvia has started, so we're excited to have a full sales team again. And I'm sure you'll see Sylvia bebopping around here. She's very friendly and likes to talk, very salesy. So you'll get to know who she is. Okay? And then, last but not least, my alley finale. I couldn't figure out what to do, but you know, I'm like, I'll do finale just instead of it, I'll do it my own version, right? So I want to leave it on a positive note, right? Because it's too hard to be frustrated all the time. Life's too hard. I encourage us. This is a brand new year, 2025. We have a lot of new exciting things we're working on, upcoming. We want you to enjoy it. We want you to be a part of it. Have fun with us. Help us, give us more ideas of how we can make this more fun. What things did you do before you moved here? I had someone the other day tell me, you know, I belong to a country club, and they started telling me what things they did at that country club so I could try to see, well, what could we spin off of that for here? So give us some ideas. We want you to be involved. We want you to get to know your neighbors. We want you to have some fun. Not dead yet. We got fun. We got some fun to still do. So this is leaving you on a happy note. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Any questions, you can come see me offline. We can set up a time to talk. But thank you very much for attending and being here with us. And we'll see you next month.